Greetings! Welcome to Sunday Morning Announcements with the Emma Rutherford Avatar. If you're with us on Facebook or YouTube, please subscribe to get notifications when we have new videos. If you're with us on Zoom, say hi in the chat. We'd love to say hello back. If you're with us in person, hello everybody here. And if this is your first visit, please sign the guest book, either in the lobby or online at oakcliffuu.org/guest. Today, Sarah Ricke, head of Adult Religious Exploration, will take the pulpit with our Principles as Covenant. Sarah will be talking about the 8th principle, and also a bit about proposed changes to the original 7 principles. We'll then have a different type of talkback, as we break into small groups for further discussion. After the service today, the Combined Coordinating Council and Worship Ministry meeting will be held at 1 p.m. in Charity North, and on Zoom at tinyurl.com/uucoc-cc-3rd. Ministry and committee chairs are expected to attend, but it's open to all. Do you have an idea for a worship service or a fundraiser? Or just want to see what goes on behind the scenes and where you might help? Join us at 1 p.m. The Social Justice Ministry Reading Group will be wrapping up their discussion this week on The Sum of Us by Heather McGhee. The next book selection is Palestine, Peace Not Apartheid by Jimmy Carter. The group meets online Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Questions? Email Mavis at sjm@oakcliffuu.org. Our pledge drive continues. Can you help us reach a goal of $7,000 per month in pledges? Your commitment will help make a meaningful difference and ensure the sustainability of our programs and services. Join us in this collective effort by pledging today. Remember, even if you pledged last year, we still need your submission for this year. To make or update your pledge, go to oakcliffuu.org/pledge2024 or scan this QR code. And thank you. Please keep watching your eBlast newsletter for more info on all of this and more. Not receiving the eBlast? Just sign up at oakcliffuu.org/enews. It's that easy. Have you signed up, but still aren't getting the eBlast? As our tech guy Scott says, don't forget to check your spam folder. And make sure that news at oakcliffuu.org is in your contacts. We have a member anniversary to celebrate. Sherry Randall joined UUCOC on July 17, 2011. Yay, Sherry! And we have a birthday coming up tomorrow. Congratulations to Scott Gray for one more trip around the sun. That's it for now. Hope you all have a great week.
We start our service with the lighting of our chalice. Deep calls unto deep, joy calls unto joy, light calls unto light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace, of hope. And as one flame lights another, nor grows the less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of the light wherever we are. Our opening words today are We Answer the Call of Love by Julia Colbert Haymeyer. In the face of hate, we answer the call of love. In the face of exclusion, we answer the call of inclusion. In the face of homophobia, we answer the call of LGBTQ rights. In the face of racism, we answer the call of justice for all races. In the face of xenophobia, we answer the call of pluralism. In the face of misogyny, we answer the call of women's rights. In the face of demagoguery, we answer the call of reason. In the face of religious intolerance, we answer the call of diversity. In the face of narrow nationalism, we answer the call of global community. In the face of bigotry, we answer the call of open-mindedness. In the face of despair, we answer the call of hope. As Unitarian Universalists, we answer the call of love. now more than ever.
Come sing a song with me, come sing a song with me, come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, come dream a dream with me, and I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me, come rock in rain with me, come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Last verse. Come share a rose with me, come share a rose with me, come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Thank y'all. Good morning.
In our community, we take time each week to share what's in our hearts and on our minds. If your heart is heavy today, know that you don't have to carry that heartache alone. Together, we can offer comfort. Please share your sorrows publicly by posting them in the Zoom chat, or send them to our Facebook Messenger, or speak them aloud.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
We also share our joys with one another, knowing that joy calls unto joy amplified. Together, our voices can rise in a chorus of celebration. Please share your joys publicly by posting them to the Zoom chat, or send them to our Facebook Messenger, or speak them aloud. Welcome. Welcome to the UU Church of Oak Cliff. Here, we seek to build a community where what you believe is less important than how your beliefs guide and inform your participation in the world. Ours is a community that strives to value the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. To our returning visitors, we're so happy you've joined us again. We know your time is precious, and we're honored to have you here today on this almost sunny day, but it was raining earlier. We'd also like to extend a warm welcome to anyone joining us for the first time. We recognize the bravery it takes to come into a new place, and we're glad you're here. And every week, we recite our covenant. Let me introduce first. Ours is a covenantal church. Latin for come together. Covenant means a solemn agreement or promise from the heart regarding a course of action between parties. The practice of promising to walk together is the core of our faith. Simply put, it's a guide for the behavior we expect from ourselves and each other. We are bound together by the promises we make to one another, and we recite this covenant during every service. Please rise in body or spirit. Because we love one another, we honor each individual's spiritual journey. We celebrate life's abundance in service to each other, our community, and the world. We connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. Thus, we do covenant together.
Porque nos amamos una al otro, honoramos el viaje espiritual de cada individuo. Celebramos la abundancia de la vida en el servicio entre sí, nuestra comunidad y el mundo. Ponemos en contacto a unos con otros en el amor, respeto y excepción. Así que hacemos pacto.
Thank you. Please welcome Sarah Ricke.
So good morning, everyone, and welcome to Adult RE. So for those of you who are new or visiting, I'm Sarah, and I'm the Religious Exploration Coordinator, or Adult RE, here at UUCOC. And so this summer we have changed up the service schedule quite a bit, and we're trying out new things, throwing them at the wall, seeing what sticks. And one of those things that we are doing this summer is taking time during the month to make a service that's a little bit more interactive than you might be used to. And we're doing that by turning the service into small adult RE sessions. So normally, Adult RE is a small discussion group that runs at the same time as talk back after the service. And we cover all sorts of subjects, sometimes related to the service, sometimes not. We learn about different faith practices and mythologies from around the world so that we can better understand each other's and our own beliefs. And so today I want to talk to you about some Unitarian Universalist beliefs. And then I'm going to ask you to talk to each other. So please bear with me for a few minutes. This will not be a normal service. I will be giving you this very small presentation, and then we're going to separate into small groups and talk about today's topic. Now, I will emphasize for those of you who might not be comfortable speaking in small groups, no one's going to make you talk. You are more than welcome to just sit and listen to the people around you. This is for you to get out of it what you need. And if you think talking will help you, then talk. If you think listening will help you, then listen. So we will still have talk back after the sermon, for those of you who want to stick around and talk a little bit more. But in service, we're going to give you about 15 minutes to go over the topic and the discussion questions that I have prepared for you. I even have handouts today. So at UUCOC, we've started having a service theme for each month. And this month, our theme is covenant. Now, we have a covenant here at Oak Cliff. In fact, we have two. We just read one already, both in English and in Spanish. That was our church covenant. And after we're done with our discussion, you'll hear our second one, our Widening the Circle of Concern covenant. So a covenant is a contract. It's not legally binding, as that would be entirely too much paperwork, and I don't have enough money for those kind of lawyers. But I hope that you would honor us today by at least considering it morally binding while you are with us. So covenant is an agreement among the members of a church in how we, the members of this congregation, will act not just in church, but in our lives, in our faith, both separately and together. Now, some people might be more familiar with the covenants from traditional Christian churches, if we happen to be raised in that faith, like so many of us who come to Unitarian Universalism are, and how they compel members to follow the set religious beliefs of whatever denomination they happen to be a part of. But we are UUs, and we do not have set religious beliefs as other churches have them. It's actually right there in our 7 principles, if you want to look up on that little flag over there. Acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. Unitarian Universalism welcomes people from every faith path. We are less concerned about what you believe and more concerned about how you believe it. And thus our church covenant that we recite every Sunday focuses on our actions and how we interact with our fellow humans, the world, and even nature herself, instead of strict dogmas. We don't want to dictate your religious beliefs, but we do want you to take those beliefs out with you into the world with integrity and compassion. So there's a running joke in our religion, what do UUs believe? Oh, you can believe whatever you want. Except no, not really. Because while we don't care whether or not you believe in Elohim, the universal creator God of Jewish origin, the sun god Ra from ancient Egypt, or even the flying spaghetti monster, Brahmin, we do believe that your religion should make you at least try to be a better person. So we don't give you a final exam or anything dictating whether or not you're going to heaven or hell, but we do grade you on class participation, if that makes any sense. And we do have set rules about how you should be participating. Yes, we have our church covenant, which we ask you to honor each other's spiritual journey. But how do we do that? It asks us to celebrate life in abundance. How do we do that? Our covenant asks us to connect with each other in love, respect, and acceptance. But how do we do that? So for many years, if I was going to give you the answer, I simply would have pointed to that beautiful wall with those beautiful flags. Oop, I apologize. I would have pointed to that wall with those beautiful flags, our 7 principles. But that's not going to be quite enough anymore. Because you see, the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism are 40 years old. Exactly 40 years old, actually. They were adopted almost unanimously by the Unitarian Universalist Association in 1984, with the hope that they would, as the president, Reverend Eugene Pickett, at the time said, supplement our seeking with some profound religious finds. The 7 principles were meant to be a reflection of a changing religion and a changing culture, with specific changes thoughtfully reflected. For example, the various committees that were tasked with their creation were primarily staffed by women. And they made a conscious effort to remove gender and the assumptions of that from the principles to reflect the growing feminist movement of the time and address the patriarchal bias of traditional religion. And considering the current political climate, it's an attitude I can only appreciate, for the obvious reasons. So, Kathy, if you will help me real quick. This is the part of the service where I ask you to turn yourselves into little tiny circles, into small groups, and prepare for some discussions. So for the sake of our viewers online, yes, please, on each side of the aisle, just turn yourselves into a little tiny group. All right, if you'll spare me just a few more minutes, I do want to go over this. I do want to go over this verbally for our friends online. So the worksheet I have provided you has the UU 7 principles, both the 1984 version, and which reads, our 7 principles are, number 1, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Number 2, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Number 3, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. Number 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Number 5, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and society at large. Number 6, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Number 7, respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. Now again, these 7 principles are 40 years old, and while they are still the primary source of guidance for UUs across the country, in 2024, the UUA proposed and accepted an alternative if congregations wished to adopt it. And that is going to be on the right side of the top of your worksheet. And it lists 6 values: interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice, all surrounding a chalice of love. And in addition, we have another principle, our 8th principle, which we recently adopted here at the at the UUCOC. The UUA has presented it and left it up to individual congregations to decide whether or not they want to adopt it. And I am proud to say that during our last parish meeting, thank you, my ADHD just took that word right out of my mouth. During our last parish meeting, our congregation voted to accept this and work it into our church. So we're going to get a new flag at some point. And that 8th principle reads, we, the member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote journeying toward spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse and multicultural beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions. So today, I want you to look at all of these principles. And I have given you some discussion questions for us to talk about. So which of these principles do you feel are reflected in our covenant? Which principles feel excluded? How could they be included? How do you use these principles to guide your beliefs and actions? What principles are most reflected in your own life? Which principles are difficult for you to follow? Which set of principles do you feel better reflect your and our faith? So if we wrote a new set of principles again altogether, which of these would you keep? Or remove? Would you add a new one? And if we wrote a new covenant for our church, which principles would you want to reflect? So I'm going to flicker between these two groups. I'm going to give you about 10-15 minutes to discuss before we finish up the service. So again, I invite you to talk in your small groups. And if you feel like you want more time, we have talk back after the service where we all get together in one big group to continue the discussion. Thank you so much. And I'm going to come down and join you. And thank you all today. I've loved hearing the discussions around me. I hope you had a good time with the questions that I gave you today. Please take these worksheets home, think about them, take it out into the world, and just be a good person having a good life. because I am not going to give you the answers. Today, I was only here to give you the questions, in the hopes that you are curious enough, that you are bold enough, and that you are faithful enough to seek those answers on your own. Because so many times in life, it is to question, truly, that is the answer. May you leave today more thoughtful than you arrived. Blessed be.
Thank you, Sarah. And thank you all for sticking around. A little bit more of the formal church. At this time, we will look at our Widening the Circle of Concern covenant. In the spring of 2021, we added a second covenant to our weekly worship service. Our Widening the Circle of Concern, WCOC, work takes its name from an in-depth UUA study that was published in 2020 and with which we have been actively engaged ever since. The words of this covenant are in your order of service and will also appear on the screen. We, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Oak Cliff, commit ourselves to the study and dismantling of racism and oppression within our congregation. We commit our congregation and ourselves to the work of anti-racism and anti-oppression. We commit ourselves to listening, to learning, and to action. When we fail, we commit ourselves to trying again and again. We covenant to begin this work and to continue until all of us can truly say that we are a beloved community of justice, equity, and compassion. We have not forgotten about the offering today, but with our more casual format, the basket is in the hallway between here and the lobby, with instructions beside the basket if you feel so moved. I thank you for that. Be true, be well, be loving. We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection, our concerns, or our care for each other. Our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Be strong, be well, be true, be loving. And if you will recite with me, we extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.